Hey guys, it's Jeff, and today Apple released the third developer beta of iOS 13.3.1. We have it loaded up on our device here. We're taking a look at what's new, what changes have been made. We're not really expecting any new features simply because we haven't gotten them in the first couple of betas, and that's typically when we're going to get them. And also, it's 13.3.1. So anytime there's like a 0.1 added at the end, that's likely just to cover, bugs and everything like that, performance issues. So we're not really expecting any new features here, but we are expecting to see maybe some small improvements that make the use of iOS 13 just a little bit better. So let's go ahead, get this loaded up on our device here, check out what's new and why you might want to be upgrading to the latest developer beta of iOS 13.3.1. This video is sponsored by MacPod, the creators of Clean My Mac X. This is a program that I use almost every day to clean up junk files, protect my Mac from malware, and speed up my Mac to work like it did from day one. There's also a ton of other tools that you get with this program without any hassle whatsoever. So if you want to start the program I use for my Mac, check out the link down below to see more info and also to download it today. Okay guys, so we have the third developer beta here of iOS 13.3.1 loaded up on our device. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the kind of deeper dive information about this firmware version that we have here for this beta. So if we go to the About screen, you can see that we have a new build number here that is 17D5050A, and the A does indicate that we're dealing with a much more stable build here than, let's say, like a D or an E at the end of this build number. So that does indicate that this is a very stable build, and they have really all been stable builds for the iOS 13.3.1 betas. So I do expect kind of like an imminent release of an official version of iOS 13.3.1. So look for that in maybe like the coming days, maybe Friday, or maybe even next week around the same time, like next Wednesday, like the next Monday to Wednesday. Just look for an official release because we really haven't gotten anything new in the last couple beta versions here. And we're really looking to push out the software, to get out all the official bug fixes for iOS 13.3. Now, if we go down into the lower half of the About screen here, you'll see that the modem firmware has changed. It's 1.04.06. The last modem firmware version ended in 0.05. So a very, very small modem firmware update here, but nonetheless, we do have that update in the About screen. Now, this beta version did come in, as I said, around like 136 megabytes for my iPhone 11 Pro Max. So we're not really expecting anything new as far as like new features or anything like that goes, but we actually did see a few very, very small changes in functionality. So the first thing is if we go to like Bluetooth functionality, previously in like previous betas, beta 1 and 2 of iOS 13.3.1, in the car and specifically for like Beats headphones or any Bluetooth headphones, not AirPods, I had some kind of like connectivity issues where the Bluetooth would kind of like shut off and then come back on. It was actually a lot worse in my car, so I'm not exactly sure what was going on with that, but I went down to go ahead and check out this issue, see if it still persists. And in my car just a few minutes ago, this issue was not there. So it seems like Bluetooth connectivity is working just a little bit better. And I tried it on headphones too, didn't experience anything. And as I said, this wasn't affecting AirPods. So it was a really weird issue, but it seems like in beta 3 now, if you were having any Bluetooth issues in previous betas, that is now fixed. Okay, so the next thing we're going to check out is actually a feature that I missed in the last beta, in beta 2. So if we go into settings, then onto privacy, then onto location services, and then go down all the way to the bottom to system services, you'll see that there is a new toggle here under networking and wireless. So basically what this toggle is, it enables your networking and wireless services to detect your location. And you might ask, why does it need to do that? Well, the location is very important when your phone is looking for ultra wideband technology. So basically that means that your iPhone is switching bands to get the best connectivity. But in some countries, this is actually illegal. I'm not sure like why, but the toggle is meant to be there so that it can check that, you're in the correct country and also you're in a country where this technology is not illegal. So that is why there is a toggle there. Apple added this. If you turn it off and you are in a country where it is legal for this technology to be on, you might actually be losing some connectivity, or not really connectivity, but maybe speed, because you're not switching to the most efficient band. So I do recommend that you keep this on. I don't think it's really a privacy issue. Apple obviously just wanted to add this just so you have the freedom to turn this toggle on or off. Okay, so next up is some speed and performance kind of recognition here, because speed and performance is actually very much on the rise here in beta 3. In beta 2 and like beta 1 of iOS 13.3.1, I did notice that speed was just a little bit sluggish. It seems like all of these system processes that were going on were just a little bit more sluggish on the sluggish side of things, and just apps and different functions weren't loading as quickly. So it seems like now in beta 3 here, that has now been fixed to the point where we're actually seeing a lot of things working a lot faster. So it seems like the apps here are loading up fairly quickly, and I'm not really seeing that huge lag that I was seeing in previous betas of iOS 13.3.1. So that's really nice to see here, that we're getting just a lot faster of an experience on iOS here. And it's really just nice to see that Apple, even though we are in the kind of like later stages of iOS 13, they are still focusing very heavily on performance and making sure that everything is as efficient as possible. Now, another issue is we did have that RAM management issue, and it seemed like in beta 2, I was having just a few problems here and there with RAM management. So if I go back into like, let's say the stocks app, just to see, how that RAM management issue is, working, nothing really had to load. So it seems like that RAM management issue might poke its head just a few times here and there. But for the most part, RAM management is, working a lot better than it was a few versions ago in iOS 13. And it seems like it's actually just working slightly better than what it has been in the past couple of weeks here on beta 3. So I'll keep looking out for the RAM management issue, but it seems like right now it's working really, really well. And as I said before, everything with iOS 13.3.1 beta 3 here seems very, very snappy. So that's really nice to see. And hopefully that continues on into the official version. Okay, guys, so that was what was new, what changes have been made, and also we went briefly over speed and performance there. Now, in regards to speed and performance, I have one other thing to add, because connectivity with AirPods Pro is actually working a whole lot faster. So if you open up your AirPods Pro kind of case just to connect it to your iPhone, that is working a whole lot better. It seems like the communication between the AirPods Pro case and the iPhone is just a little bit faster and is working a lot better than what it was even in the official version of iOS 13.3. So that's one note to add. But in regards to battery life, which is another thing that we usually talk about here when we talk about software updates, is battery life is definitely on the rise. It seems like battery life is doing a little bit better here in the third developer beta than it was in beta 1. Now in beta 2, there was a significant increase in battery life or battery performance. So in between like beta 2 and beta 3, maybe just a slight change, but it looks like it's holding steady here in beta 3, which is a really, really good sign. It seems like Apple is just focusing more and more on speed and performance and battery life as we get later on into the kind of like lifespan of iOS 13 here. And that's really nice to see, because Apple, has said that they want to focus more on speed and performance and also battery performance as well, even if they're working on something new, maybe like iOS 14. So that's really nice to see here. And let's go move on to kind of like the final portion of today's video. Should you guys be installing the third developer beta? Well, I always recommend to people that are running betas, if you don't have a problem, maybe don't consider upgrading. And also, if there's nothing new, it's maybe not worth the upgrade. Simply because if you upgrade to the latest developer build, there might be an issue that you didn't have in the previous build that might pop up, and you'll have to be dealing with that for over a week until the next build comes. So if you guys don't have any issues, you are completely satisfied on beta 2, and you have kind of like no new features, as obviously we really haven't had any, I would recommend just staying on beta 2 until the official version comes comes out, or maybe even a beta 4 comes out that might bring something new or maybe a major change. So that is my recommendation for you guys. If you guys have any problems or anything like that you're experiencing on beta 2, it's definitely worth the upgrade to kind of go to beta 3. I know a lot of people were saying that they still have a speaker issue where there was like echo in the background, which I had in beta 1, but they kind of went away with beta 2. And a lot of people on beta 2 are still saying that they had that. So I do recommend upgrading to beta 3. Maybe there's a delay there, and maybe you just need to upgrade for that issue to go away. So definitely recommend you guys updating if you have any issues whatsoever. So guys, let's talk very briefly about kind of like the future of iOS 13.3.1 here and the future of iOS 13. Very briefly, iOS 13.3.1 doesn't really have any new features. We weren't really expecting that, as I said before, but it seems like now they could release an official version of iOS 13.3.1. Fingers crossed for that. We might be seeing that, as I said, early next week, maybe midweek next week, or maybe even this Friday if Apple is feeling like everything is ready. But when are we going to be seeing an iOS 13.4? That's the big question, because we still have some features that are missing from iOS 13 that Apple did say that they were going to include. One is the FaceTime eye correction feature, and the other is the phone call spam detection feature, which Apple has been working on for quite some time now. So do not expect that to be brought in iOS 13.4. A lot of people are holding out. I think that it will be kind of prolonged and pushed back into iOS 14 as one of the more premier features of iOS 14, along with a UI or aesthetic change, with a whole new look to iOS. So guys, don't hold your breath or give your hopes up for all of these features coming very, very soon. These are definitely features that Apple wants to continue developing, and we might be seeing them maybe in iOS 13.4, but I expect to be seeing those in iOS 14 betas, which are only a few months away, as we are almost into February. So that would be like maybe June time. So that'd be like 3-4 months away from the start of February to where you might be seeing those features in some betas. So guys, hopefully you can hold on until then for those new features. And I'm really excited to see what Apple has in store in the next couple months. Of course, I'll be updating you guys as everything comes out. So guys, thank you for watching this update video on iOS 13.3.1 beta 3. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please comment those in the comment section down below. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. Now, if you want to stay up to date with like any future content, we have a lot of content coming up with Samsung. That is a good one. Not really Samsung phones. That will be in the future, but also TVs, entertainment, all of that. We will have some content on that coming really, really soon. So if you want to do that, make sure to leave a like on the video. Also, get subscribed and hit that notification bell button to get updates on when that content is released. So again, guys, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll be catching you guys in some upcoming content.